Hi friends, I am the Crafty Quinn and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I like to make crafts, DIYs, and home decor pieces using mostly Dollar Tree items. Today's video is super special because I'm collaborating with Theresa DIY, and it's really funny because she was my first collaboration video partner ever, and now in the new year, she is my first collaboration of the new year. So really glad to be working with her again. So be sure to check out her channel, which I've linked below. So for this first DIY, I have two of those Dollar Tree crates, as you can see. And here is the Crafty Kitty. This is my cat Marcus, right on schedule. If you're brand new here from Theresa's channel, this is my cat Marcus. We call him the Crafty Kitty, and he's pretty much appeared in almost all of my videos at this point. And we just got him a little bow tie, so now you can see that in the little corner there. But he likes to just be here and inspect all of my crafts while I'm doing things. And so the paint that I'm using is the Waverly chalk paint from Walmart. I just got this, so I'm kind of testing my hand at it, and Marcus seems to want to inspect it as well. So this color, I'm not sure which color it is. I'm gonna have to link that below for you. But so I'm just using chalk paint, and I'm starting out by painting the inside of the crate first, because it was very important that I did that, because I mean it was pretty noticeable if you didn't paint it. So it's just good to cover every part of the crate that you can see. Thanks, Marcus. So now that I have the crate pretty much covered, it just needed to be mostly covered on the inside. Don't need to paint every inch of it on the inside, because I'm going to be putting in this little foam piece soon to hold the plants inside. So this is more Dollar Tree items. This is the Dollar Tree flower foam inserts that are just like pre-cut, which has been great, but I still needed to cut them a little bit because, well, you'll see why in a little bit. But so I'm also taking, it's basically like a bead, and it came from a Dollar Tree game actually. So they're all like beaded together in this like string. So I cut them, and I'm using a bead from that game to make a little leg for my plant stand. So I was just trying to glue it in a way where you couldn't see like the holes of the beads. So all of the beads facing outwards, you can't even tell. Yeah, so as you can tell here, I'm about to discover that I need to cut it, so I cut it down, and then I'm covering up the very front of it with the Dollar Tree moss, because if I didn't cut it and if I didn't cover it, you could see the green foam right there through the crate. So it was very, very important that I cut it down so that I could put moss in the very front of the crate. I didn't bother kind of cutting it down and covering it on both sides, so I just have the moss in the very front, so you can't even tell that the foam board's there holding it all in. So I grabbed one of those lavender plants, and I saw a bunch of these small potted lavender plants at my large Dollar Tree, about a half hour from me, and so I just grabbed a bunch of those, and then I just kind of used about, I guess, 3 on each side, and just stuck those into the foam board, and then just covered up the foam, the flower foam, with the Dollar Tree moss as best you could. So no hot glue is needed there. And then what's great is that, you know, you can just take these out anytime, switch them out for anything else. But I wanted to use lavender because it's so in right now. And here is the finished product. This is a Farmhouse neutral lavender plant stand. And like I said, this is a collaboration with Theresa B DIY, so make sure to go check out her channel, which I've linked below. She loves to do all kinds of farmhouse crafts. That is normally her go-to. So farmhouse is a little out of my element, so we got to work together on this neutral theme together, so be sure to check her out. So this is a canvas. So fun fact, I like to go, well, I guess you could say hunting, trash hunting on Sunday nights, and the people around us just seem to kind of throw away things that, you know, are still in pretty great condition. So we went looking this past Sunday night, and we found this canvas that someone was tossing. So I took off the canvas and used the wood frame underneath, and then I took this is chicken wire. This is not the Dollar Tree chicken wire. This is like real heavy duty chicken wire. And so I needed my husband to help me. So you saw him stapling my the chicken wire down to the frame, and it wasn't my arms that I forgot to shave or something. That was my husband helping me. And if you ever feel like you don't need, like you can't, I guess, do something like, you know, staple gun or something, you don't feel safe doing it, definitely don't do something that you don't feel safe doing. So, you know, where you can, get someone who's experienced with those things to lend a hand. So that is a Dollar Tree windmill, and I just snipped off the metal end of it where you normally stick that part in the ground. Just snipped that off, and then just used a little like twisty tie to secure it to the chicken wire. And I didn't hot glue it or anything. I wanted it to be temporary, just in case I end up taking this windmill off of there, using it on something else, or replacing the windmill completely and just kind of putting something else kind of like in the middle of this chicken wire frame. But basically I wanted this to be a reusable chicken wire frame, really rustic looking. So I'm taking Waverly wax for this, and this was the first time I ever used Waverly wax. So I just took a Dollar Tree paintbrush, and I'm calling it my distressing brush. Maybe this will be my go-to brush in the future. But so what I'm doing is, I'm a total beginner at this, so I just used as light of amount of wax on my brush as possible, because it's always good to start out lighter, you know, and then you can go thicker like after if you don't like how the light appearance looks. But I'm trying to actually get the edges of it too, because all of the edges catch the brush really well. And that's just one thing I've noticed as a beginner using this Waverly wax. So it's like the Waverly Antique wax, so it's like a brownish color in tint, but I'm trying to make this frame more rustic, is basically the point of this. And so just start out with a very, very, very light amount of the wax on your brush, just lightly going across the frame, across the wood. And then I did do a little bit of sanding too, which maybe you'll see that in a few minutes, but I did a little bit of sanding on the knots of the wood canvas frame, because I wanted the knots of the wood to show through, because I feel like that makes it look even more rustic. So just lightly brushing the wax onto the white paint. You can see I technically messed up at the bottom there. There's a pretty large spot of the wax right there, and I tried to wipe it away with a paper towel, but it didn't really work, so then I ended up keeping it because I felt like it looked really rustic. So now you can start to see some of the wax along the edges there. And I tried to use a paper towel to get up some of that extra wax, but that didn't work, so pretty much once it's on there, it's on there. So yeah, there you can see I'm using the sandpaper. I'm just doing it in the spots where you can see the knots of the wood, and just scraping some of that white paint, the white chalk paint I used for this off of there. I used Waverly white chalk paint for the frame before I did the wax. And because it's chalk paint, it comes right off with no problem. So you can kind of see that revealing a little bit, but there was a knot of the canvas. Knot of the wood in the canvas. And then I just kind of went over that later with some antique wax. So here is the finished product. When you have it looking all distressed and rustic looking. And I'm definitely going to probably reuse this frame later, so I want to keep kind of making the things that go in the middle of the frame temporary so that I can just use it at my leisure. Yeah, so this is the finished product, and this is just what it would look like if it's hanging up on a wall. And then back to my little planter. That was the end result there. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and make sure to tap that subscribe button and hit the bell notifications button so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for watching!